Hola, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Happy Tuesday. Oh, sorry. I just stepped on my dog. Welcome on in, everybody. It is another sunny day here in California. The weather is luckily not 105 today. It is a nice, I think, like 95-ish. It's still kind of hot, but not like crazy hot. How's the weather for you, Sandy?
It's also sunny, so it's not that great as yours, but it's still like pretty decent.
Oh, is it raining yet?
No, it's not raining today. It's going to start raining tomorrow.
Hmm,
It's when the tropical storm is reaching.
got it. Got it. People from our audience, where are you guys from? How's the weather? Jack looks like he has a sweating face, so maybe it's hot wherever Jack is. Oy, I'm so sorry. I hope you can sit in front of the air conditioning or a fan.
Texas currently is hot. That said,
I feel like Texas is always hot. Like I've never heard anybody be like, "Oh, it's cold in Texas today." All right, we will give it 1 or 2 more minutes, and then we will go ahead and get started. So thank you everybody for being here today. All right, we'll give it 1 more minute and then we will get started here. Let me take a sip of my water and then we can get started. Alrighty, well, welcome everybody. Happy Tuesday. We've reached the final masterclass session of our series, and it's been a great journey with all of you learning more about Transifex. I'm Veronica, the Customer Success Team Lead here at Transifex, and I'm excited to be your host today. Leading us through today's session is Sandy, one of our seasoned customer success engineers. If you've ever reached out to us support, you've likely interacted with Sandy before. Today, she'll be showing us how to harness the power of the Transifex SDK, perfect for anyone working closely with developers or anyone interested in deepening their knowledge of our SDKs. At Transifex, our mission is to lift the language barrier and engage the world, and we really hope all these sessions, including today's, will help make that much easier. Before we hop right in, remember to use the chat bubble for any questions you have. Your engagement is super important to us, so please feel free to share any insights and ask all the questions. No questions too small here. And as always, we know your time is super valuable and we appreciate you all for being here. But if you need to step away for any reason today, the session is recorded and it will be emailed to you after this. So, with that being said, we'll let Sandy have the floor and take it away.
okay, perfect. Hello, everyone. I am really excited to be here today. As Veronica said, I am Sandy. I am a customer success engineer here in Transifex, and I am here today to talk about our Transifex SDK. Um, Let me start. First, I would love to address two things, which are for who exactly is this training for and why is this so important. Let's break it down. First, this training is for localization managers, project maintainers, software developers, or anyone involved in the localization process who wants to learn about software applications localization, especially, I'm sorry, using Transifex. The second one is why is this training important? Because basically this training will help you to understand the developer role and the developer challenges in localization projects. It also allows you to have a better collaboration and better communication with them since you will understand their part of the job, basically. Now, let's see what we will be covering today. First of all, we will understand what is Transifex SDK. We will see how does this work. Also, at the end of the presentation, we will do in a demo on how to localize a web application. This web application is an application created in a framework called Django. So I think it's fair to understand a little bit what is Django. But no worries, I will try to not be that technical into this presentation. Finally, for the demo, we will see first how to set up the Transifex native into a Django project, how to make the code readable for Transifex, also how to upload this content to Transifex. We will see how to translate this content in the Transifex application. And finally, we will see how to display the translated content. So let's start. The first thing that we need to learn is what is Transifex SDK. To understand what is Transifex SDK, we need to understand what is Transifex Native. Transifex Native is a tool designed for developers, to help developers to make their sites or applications available in multiple languages efficiently. It prepares the content for translation and manage the translations process really easy. The SDK, the software development kit, is the thing basically that you install in your computer to connect with your software application and make it work with Transifex Native. So the SDK operates over the air, meaning that the translations are delivered directly to the application without manually uploading or downloading like any files, which speeds up the process and reproduces the sorry, I'm so sorry, and reduces the need of repeated deployments. So let's discover now. I'm so sorry. How does this works? Basically, it works by simplifying three easy processes, which are marking the source content, the source strings for translations. In your code, you will mark the parts of the content that need to be translated. After that, it also simplifies the process of sending the source strings to Transifex so your translators can work on them. Uh, this can be done really easy using a command that we will see in the next slides. Now, lastly, it simplifies the process of serving the translations. Once your content is translated, Transifex Native can serve this translation directly to your website or application without requiring you to update anything manually. So let's go to the next slide. Basically, we will using a fake website to demonstrate how easy it is to integrate Transifex Native into software applications. But what is Django? Django is just a web framework for building websites and web applications quickly. Basically, it provides a ton of tools and components for common task. I'm so sorry. Let's say this allows developers to focus on the unique parts of their project instead of creating everything from the scratch. So that's why we will using the Django website to demonstrate how to integrate Transifex. So let's go dig into the demo. For this, the first step that we are going to see is how to set up Transifex in the Django project. This covers 3 easy steps that we will see in a recording. Give me just a second to start the recording. In the meantime, let me remember you that if you have any questions at any time, feel free to use the question button or use the chat. So now, let's go to the first step, which is setting up Transifex native in a Django project. For this, give me just a second to start. I'm so sorry. Let me do this a little bit slow. I'm going to start. The first step is basically install the Transifex SDK in your computer. This can be done really easy with a command line, which is this, the pip install Transifex Python, which is the Transifex SDK. No worries about understanding everything of this. This is just a Python jargon, but what we are going to do is install or request to your computer basically to install the Transifex SDK. Now, since I have it already installed, I can see a lot of messages that says that my requirements are already satisfied. This means that basically I have already installed every library, every package that I need to have the Transifex SDK working in my computer. But no worries, if you are installing Transifex SDK from the first time, you will see a completely different reply. So the second step basically is to create your Transifex, your Transifex native project, which is a really easy process that you can perform from the dashboard in the UI from Transifex. Basically, you need to hit the button to create a new project. Then you will see like a form where you need to add all the details for this project. I will make this bigger so you can see it better. I'm so sorry for if you were having like issues in the past. Basically, the first step is to add your name the name for this project. Then you need to choose the project type. Probably you already know this, but we have 3 project types available. We have file-based, live, and finally Transifex native, which is the one that uses the Transifex SDK. So we will use this one. Then we will just add the target languages. In this case, I will add only Spanish, German, and French. Once the project is created, you need to go to this new project dashboard to generate the native credentials. Basically, these credentials are the key that your software application needs to connect to Transifex and get the translations back to be displayed in your website or web application. So in this case, I am generating the keys, which are like a token and also a secret. Is the project already done? And finally, we just need to configure the Django project to recognize Transifex SDK and start working with it. Let me do this a little bit quicker. Basically, this is just the Django stuff. We just need to access to the settings file and add all the things that Transifex needs to work with this Django project. So we are adding here the Transifex application. Also, I forgot to mention that we need to set in the project, in the Django project, the exactly same source language that we have in the Transifex project. So here is what I'm doing. That is what I'm doing, sorry. Lastly, I will just add the Transifex secret and the Transifex token. As I was saying, these are the credentials that the project needs to connect to Transifex, such as you have credentials to access to your Facebook application. These are the credentials that your application will use. Okay. Now, I'm so sorry. Let me do this a little bit smaller. Now, once like everything in your project is already set up, now we need to make the code readable for Transifex. For this, we need to add two different things. The first one is to add the load Transifex header to every single file that will contain translatable strings. And after that, we will need to add the T symbol to every single source string that you want to push to Transifex. So we will see a recording of these steps. The first one, as I was saying, add the header load Transifex to files with translatable content. In this case, I will be localizing the content of an HTML file. So you can see here that here is like the top of the file. I will be adding the header here. Let me slow this down a bit. And that's all. Now, the second step is to mark the strings to be translated. For this demonstration, I will be marking only one string, which is the title of the page, which is CEO Dream Site. Oh, I think I forgot to mention. I'm so sorry. This is the dump site, the fake site that we will be localizing. As you can see, it's a page for CEO and digital marketing agency. Let me go back to the presentation. I just want you to introduce you the website. So for adding the T symbol, as I was saying, the only thing that we need to add is some curly braces and the percentage symbol, then a T, and then around the string we will put double quotes. The thing with the curly braces and also the percentage symbol, no worries, this is just the Django jargon, but I just wanted to show you like we are adding this symbol that Transifex needs to recognize this string. So let me do this a little bit quicker. And that's all. Now, with these two changes made, we can consider that when we try to Transifex to push all the strings to your Transifex project, this Transifex SDK will recognize this string. That's the only thing that you need to perform. That are the only steps, I'm sorry, that you need to perform. Let me do this a little bit smaller and continue. Okay, sorry. The next step, once your strings are marked, you need to upload your source content to Transifex. For this, you just need to use a really easy command, which is this one, Python manage.py. No worries about these two words. This is basically a Python jargon, but we are just calling the Transifex SDK to do the action or push the content to your Transifex project. So once you do this, you will receive a reply like this one, which basically is the results of this push attempt. In this case, you can see that Transifex SDK created 7 strings and skipped one. Why does this skipped one? This is because this string already existed in Transifex, but this is what is done. So now you will see a recording of these steps happening. For this recording, I selected 7 more strings, which are the strings that were uploaded in the message that I showed you before. Okay, so these are the strings that we are going to push. As you can see, they already have the symbol. Also, if you can see the demo website that we are using, let me go back to English. These are like the strings from the main menu. Let me go back to my presentation. I'm so sorry. Let me start again the video. As I was saying, I already marked these strings. Then I need to use the command that I was telling you before to push these strings. I just run this command in a terminal. I didn't need to install anything more. I'm not sure if you can see properly, which is Python manage.py and then the Transifex and push. Once I click enter, Transifex SDK starts doing all the magic, and really quickly I receive a reply. This was the reply that I was sharing with you in the last slide. And that's all. After this, you can consider that all your source content that you selected with the T symbol is already uploaded in your Transifex project. So let me go to the next one. Now, it is time to translate the content. For this, you only need to access to the editor of the project that you created and connected with your with your software application. I will show you my editor so you can see. In this case, as you can see, I already have the 8 strings. Well, they are 9 in this case. I think I pushed an extra one after recording the videos. Well, I have 9 strings that I can start translating to the several target languages that I added, French, German, and Spanish. As you can see, I have them already translated. In your case, you can get translators to work in these strings. You can use machine translation. You can use the feature Transifex AI to have these strings translated. And once they are translated, you don't need to install anything in your software application. Just at having them translated, you can render them into your software application, as you can see here. Let me show you. Okay, so the next step, as I was saying, is display your content. For this, the only thing that is needed is include a language picker in your application and have all the configurations made to have this language picker, to give this language picker the ability to change your software application, and that's all. If we go to the test site, you will see that here is here is the main menu. As you can see, I already added the language picker. So let's move to the languages that I already translated. In Spanish, you can see that the strings are already translated. There are a few errors in the way this this site looks, but you don't need to worry. If you are localizing at your site, your developers will take care of this. So let me move now to the German language. As you can see, the site is reload again, but now with the German translation displaying. So I think the last one that I added was French. Give me just a second to look for French. Probably I can just go to English. Also, just so you know, you can also customize the language picker. In my case, I just like presented the whole list of available languages that Transifex support, but you can personalize this to only have like your target languages available, so you can make them look quicker. So no worries. And basically, that's all. That are all the steps that you need to do to have your Transifex. I'm so sorry, to your software project localized. So, what are the takeaways from this presentation? Basically, we have learned what Transifex native SDK is. We also have learned how does this works. Basically, it provides a way to send your content to Transifex, to to mark your content to be translated to be pushed to Transifex, and finally, it provides a way to render your translations into your site. Also, we have, as I was saying, we have discovered the steps of how to set up a native project or how to connect your software project with Transifex native, and the demo that we saw. I think that's all on my end. Thank you so much. Let me know if you have like any questions. I'm so sorry, I didn't show the last slide. Okay, I'm so sorry. I was speaking about the takeaways. Basically, I was saying that we have learned what is Transifex native or Transifex SDK. Is basically a tool that we have to localize web applications. We also saw how does Transifex SDK work and how easy is to use this to set up a native project into your software application, how to send your content to be translated in Transifex, and also how easy it to send these translations back to your website or web application. Okay, I think that's all. Does anyone has a question?
Thank you, Sandy. It looks like there is a question. So if you hop over to the questions tab at the bottom here, you'll see there's a question.
Okay.
What if my company doesn't use Django?
Okay, no worries. Let me address this really quick. Just give me a second to look in my documentation. No worries. I was just so you know, I was just showing you how to use the Django SDK, but actually we have plenty SDKs for plenty programming language and also frameworks. We have an SDK for JavaScript, for React, React Native, Angular, Vue 2 and 3, Next.js, Node.js, for static HTML, the Django, and so on. I can share with you this documentation so you can see all the SDKs that we have available for you.
Looks like there's one more question, Sandy.
Okay. Why use native versus another approach? Basically, because in this one, you don't need to get a translatable file and upload it to Transifex and then download it again from Transifex when it's translated. And you don't have to do the process of installing these translations into your website. Instead, Transifex, you just need to mark your translations to be pushed to Transifex. And basically, Transifex does all the work of rendering your translations into your website. Basically, it automatizes some steps for you. But if you prefer, I can give you like a more deeper and extended answer right after this presentation. Thank you.
Okay, well, let's give it just a few seconds here to see if there are any other questions. But thank you so much, Sandy. Appreciate your presentation here.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, give me one second here. Okay, let's see. So just in case anybody's still typing, again, just wanted to thank Sandy for the presentation and kind of breaking down a lot of the technical stuff. Before we part ways for today, there are 3 questions that have been added to the poll. So if you guys go down to the bottom here, you'll see chat questions and polls. You can go there. There are 3 questions. They're all yes or no answers. So if you guys could just take a second and go ahead and answer these questions, it helps us out a lot. So additionally, keep an eye out for an email that's going to contain the survey, and this really helps us because it can help provide further feedback and suggestion topics for the future. And remember, our dedicated support team is always available, whether it's by email or you can use the chat widget in the editor. We're here to help with whatever questions you guys have. And don't forget to join our Transifex community forum to connect with fellow users, share experiences, and uncover innovative ways to maximize your Transifex experience. It is Tuesday, so that means we're going to drop another Did You Know series. So please be sure to check that out this afternoon and, let us know if that works for you and try it out. And with that, this concludes our masterclass session for the series. We want to thank everybody for taking the time to be here. Thank you, everybody who came to the earlier sessions as well. We'll see you guys for our next series, and everybody take care. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much.